How many of us have found ourselves lost in something that isn't serving us, in a period of darkness or discomfort, feeling useless or like we could be doing more with our lives, or having feelings of emptiness or stagnation and searching for meaning? These are questions that I feel most people have had at some point in their lives, whether it is a major or minor version of these feelings. If you have identified with any of them, you might be wondering just what the solution is to these problems. I went down a long road of darkness into the life of addiction. I felt empty, useless, and like my life was void of meaning. But after getting sober and staying sober for some time now, I have found the solution to these problems. Mahatma Gandhi said, "The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others." The answer to finding a life filled with meaning and usefulness is one lived helping others. The 3 points that I'll be explaining to you about how I learned to live a meaningful life by helping others and growing through addiction and getting sober are: 1, explaining what my life was like in addiction; 2, explaining how after getting sober I was introduced to the idea of altruism; and 3, explaining how helping others leads to a life filled with usefulness and meaning. First, for those of you who don't know what it's like to live through addiction, which is probably all of you, I would like to tell you what it was like for me. Addiction is a disease that negatively affected every aspect of my life and spiraled me into near oblivion. I grew up happy with everything I could need. I was recruited to play basketball at a sports academy and thought I had a promising future, but there was still a void that needed to be filled. Then I tried drugs at the beginning of my senior year of high school, and it filled that void. Within a year, my life was turned upside down. I dropped out of college, found myself in places I never thought I would end up, and doing things that I never thought I would do. I became a slave to drugs, and no matter what I did, I couldn't stop. It destroyed my life. I dropped out of college, many schools, couldn't keep a job. I burned bridges in all my relationships. I was completely alone, and my only friend was drugs, and they ceased to work anymore. I had become a selfish person that did not care what happened to anybody, including myself. All I cared was about my next high. Toward the end of 2018, I was broken. I felt useless, and I was in a never-ending cycle of despair, living a meaningless existence. I had hit a physical and emotional bottom, and I was left with 2 options: go on to the bitter end, or get sober. I chose the latter, and I've been sober ever since. Second, I'll explain how after getting sober, I was introduced to the idea of altruism. Without the help of others, I wouldn't still be sober today, and it is through that I learned the meaning of altruism. After making the decision to get sober, I came into a certain anonymous program and was met with nothing but love. I was broken, and there were people there that had been in the exact same position I was in prior and helped show me a way out of the life I was living and gave me a solution. I experienced help from people that wanted nothing in return from me, and they wanted to help me for no other reason than they wanted me to stay sober and wanted to see me succeed. I was confused by it at first. As someone that never helped anyone unless it was for selfish reasons, this concept was foreign to me. After some time of learning and staying sober, I understood it all. By helping others, not only just addicts, but anyone, they had found a way to fulfillment and actually gain from helping others. They had replaced a meaningless existence with a useful and therefore meaningful one. I now find that by giving away this gift of life that I have gotten, I can gain meaning and contentment from it. Lastly, I'll explain how helping others leads to a life filled with usefulness and meaning. Regardless of if you've gone through hardship or not, a certain way to find meaning and contentment is through helping others. I have found that no amount of material attainment will truly make me happy. The happiest I am in my life is when I'm helping others. That doesn't mean that I always love or am excited about doing it, but every time without fail, I feel better after. I felt useless for so long, and no matter what is going on in my life, if I help someone else, I'm being useful. I could have no job, no money, no friends, but if I help someone else, I have meaning. Anxiety and depression usually happen when I'm freaking out and thinking about myself. A situation, a problem that's going on in my life. If I go help someone else, I'm no longer thinking of myself and my problems, and I'm free from that. Selfishness is the root of my troubles today. Helping others doesn't have to be some big philanthropic gesture. It can be going to help the homeless in Skid Row, or it can be just calling someone you know is having a rough time and listening to them. If I take time out of my day at least once to help someone, my day gets infinitely better. I'm so beyond grateful that I'm an addict, because it has given me struggle to experience that I can now share and use to help others. Since getting sober, I have relationships back in my life. I'm in school on my way to a degree, And more importantly, I have peace and contentment. Trying to find meaning in material success and selfish things is a road to nowhere. I have found that I only get mine when you get yours. Meaning and usefulness come when you help another person. No matter what is going on in my life, good or bad, if I help someone else, I'm winning, period.